Welcome into DC On Screen, your guide to the DC Universe on film and television. It is our weekly DCTV news episode. If it's been released, we will get super spoilery on it. I am your host, David C. Robertson, and this, the guy I couldn't think of another joke for, Jason Goss.
Yeah,
I didn't sound, I was going to come up with another joke, but I was like,
But in the spirit of candor this week.
Right. You know what? We should write some sort of a fantasy epic where there's like a place called Candor where everyone just tells the exact truth all the time.
They did that. It was Ricky Gervais had a movie called The Invention of Lying. That is
but they did. It wasn't a fantasy world. Yeah, absolutely a great movie. But it wasn't. They didn't have like a town called Candor.
No,
like full of like big men who just like speak candidly all the time. That would just be amazing. Yeah. And it would just. I imagine. And I'm sorry, we're gonna have to jump back to Marvel. I imagine a town full of Drax.
That's about right, actually.
So anyway, this is our DCTV episode. We're gonna do like television news now. We're going to start off with Gotham. We've talked before, but I actually have a real quote in here. People are still, bitching and moaning about this Penguin being gay thing. And at the Rhode Island Comic-Con, Robin Lord Taylor said that he's not gay. He says, "So this is why I say he's not gay. I find him to be a very emotionally fractured person, emotionally vulnerable. And after the loss of both his mother and his father, coincidentally both dying in his arms, the only people he ever loved and trusted, the person who was there, who gave him respect and really there for him, was Edward Nygma. And I truly believe that had it been Barbara or Tabitha or Butch, yes, Butch, I believe that if it had been anyone else that had been there in that time, in that same capacity, that he had that connection with, regardless if they were male or female, he would have had the same obsession with." He says, "I also want to address the people who say I have no problem with him being gay or queer or anything. I just have a problem with you guys changing or altering the canon. I have to say that's a bunch of horse shit. You can't say that. You can't say that to me if you didn't have the same amount of consternation about Batman '89, where the Joker killed Batman's parents. That is a total departure from the canon characters. You can't tell me unless you were just as upset that in our own show we had Batman and Catwoman growing up together, running around Gotham City. If you weren't equally upset about that, which is changing canon characters, but you come to me and say, I'm okay with you being queer, but I'm upset you're changing a canon character. What you're saying to me is I'm homophobic, and I am afraid of gay people and queer people."
Oh, well put.
That's exactly what you're saying. So everyone should really check themselves, check their privileges, and check their prejudice, I would say. And something else he mentioned before in a similar rant, he said, in the comics, he wasn't raised by a pack of penguins. So,
that's true. That's just true.
Yeah. So there you go. So I guess I can have a problem with him being gay, because I had a problem with all those things he mentioned.
I mean, yeah, if you pass the litmus test of like, you changed source, I guess. In theory, you're qualified, but then still, why, man?
Yeah. You know what? When I was growing up, I did have, and some of those are just stupid. The pack of penguins thing is just stupid. Joker killing the Batman's parents, that's just stupid. I don't mind shit being changed, though. I really don't.
Yeah.
And I don't mind him being in love with Ed here. I think it's interesting, and I just hope it keeps going in an interesting way.
It's a television show that I want to tune into every week. My primary interest is that it remains interesting.
Right. So,
that's it.
The Isabella fold has not been as interesting as I was hoping it would be.
As soon as she showed up, you had so many hopes, you had so many dreams, but oh dear,
So on to Supergirl. Kevin Smith just rapped on Supergirl, and he gave everyone a rap gift. It was a t-shirt. And he got, what's the guy's name? I just had it sitting right here. Jeff Quigley.
There you go.
He says, drawn by the always amazing Jeff Quigley, we cribbed the most iconic Supergirl image in comics history. Superman holding his fallen cousin on the cover of Crisis on Infinite Earths, but standing in for the Man of Steel is the man of himself, Silent Bob. So is Silent Bob holding Supergirl like, from Crisis on Infinite Earths. I would kill for a shirt like that. That's awesome.
Oh, it might be available.
He then said, hopefully this image
soon and see if it's available.
Right. Hopefully this image isn't a prognosticator of my episode somehow killing the show I love. He says, now having
damn
worked on both Supergirl and The Flash, I can equate the experience to making both a SFX extravaganza and an indie flick at the same time. You have the talent and tools of a big budget movie, but the time of a low budget flick. Most of the folks who work on these shows come from feature films and do work you would normally see in feature films, but do it in only 8 days. If there's any bad about Supergirl Lives, it's entirely mine, because the cast and crew made a fantastic episode. I know this not only because I was there watching when they did it, but also because I've already peeped some of the scenes our editor Barbara cut together. This thank you shirt is the least I can do for the folks who made me look like I might be good at my job. And he actually posted a video of him on set, like, showing how Supergirl flies. And yeah. I don't know why, but I was remembering, like, shots I'd seen in the 90s from Lois and Clark. And that's just what I always had in my mind when I would see, like, Supergirl fly. I was just like, oh, that's the kind of rig they got her on. It's not anymore.
Like, it's really, like,
surprisingly,
that's a different kind of rig entirely.
Shit has changed.
It used to just be like green strings and a very uncomfortable harness that's stuck in between your in your wardrobe cracks.
Well, but she's got a really uncomfortable harness.
Basically just being like blown with a giant fan. That part's probably still about right.
Yeah, they still got the giant fan. She's still got the harness on underneath an incredibly tight harness on underneath the costume.
It's just more elegant
in the video
than it had been. Yeah.
But it looks like they've got her like on a gimbal, and they've got a guy with like a wheel that he's head to toe. Like Kevin Smith calls him Green Condom Man, but he just he's in head to toe green screen.
Yeah,
and he can turn the green gimbal and move her around, and it's really cool. And I don't know, I was impressed by seeing it, and looked like a lot of fun.
I actually am really going to get a kick out of it when I watch his episode. When there's a moment that it's like they show like 4 different takes of her doing. I think it's 4 different takes of her doing this thing, and there's a moment where like on the 3rd take they have an idea that they're gonna why don't we just like shoot this in? We can like put it in with the other scene, and they're just hashing it out a little bit. Like what can we do? And if they end up keeping it, I kind of saw it and thought, oh man, that's the take, and I'm gonna really get a kick out of it actually if I watch it and go, yep, that's the one I saw.
Yeah. Or at least very similar. But yeah, it looked cool. I look forward to seeing his episode. I already was, though. So.
We've described now. We're just Supergirl fans. So,
and I'm a Kevin Smith fan. I think you are too.
Oh, yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Oh, correctly.
So the Entertainment Weekly, I'm like an old man. The Entertainment Weekly there. Entertainment Weekly put out is putting out a magazine. I don't know if it's still,
they just put things out now.
Anyway. They put out a magazine about the crossover, the big CW crossover, and on the cover, you see Oliver with his arms around Barry and Kara, and people are like, wait a minute, it's a 4-way crossover. You got the Legends of Tomorrow. Where the hell are the Legends? If you actually look close, in the eye of the E, in Entertainment Weekly, there is a tiny atom.
Well done.
And by the way, the enclosure in the lowercase e is called an eye. So if anyone ever tells you there's no I in team, you tell them to go sodomize themselves because they're wrong. But
that's fantastic. I mean, I've got to give EW points. They're going to get the Subtlety Award this week.
But if you go to the Entertainment Weekly site, there's a behind-the-scenes video. Is fun. Not a lot of. There's honestly not a lot of scoop there. They're doing like they're showing the behind-the-scenes of their photo shoot. There's a picture that they did with it's Barry and Kara sitting on a couch playing video games. White Canary is reading an Invasion comic. One of the old Invasion comics. I can't tell what Oliver's reading, but he's looking very, very serious and reading a book. And Ray is sitting over his shoulder looking down.
That guy could be reading like a Calvin and Hobbes anthology and still look serious.
Right? Now, during the behind-the-scenes video, though, we actually see them doing different things as they're having their picture taken, joking around and stuff. And one of the things Ray is doing is picking up a cheese curl and putting what appears to be a tiny Atom action figure up next to it. I don't know. There are other pictures, though. There are some that are just very obviously like, here's the thing in the cover, different versions of the cover shoot, with Barry, Oliver, and Supergirl. but there are shots from the episode's coming up. A shot of Flash and Arrow behind a wall. It looks like they're hiding from Spartan.
I've seen that.
There was, oddly, a picture of Sarah and Laurel at what appeared to be like in a dressing room before a wedding. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, actually, you're right.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that's just that's time travel. Like, Sarah needs to go back and talk to Laurel. I don't know why she's dressed up for a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. A great shot of Cisco meeting Supergirl. It looks exactly like I thought it would.
That one,
Cisco with a big shit-eating grin on his face.
That's the one that really excited me. Was Cisco gets to meet Supergirl.
Yeah. Did you happen to catch Supergirl game night? I don't know if I actually sent this to you or not.
No,
but
I didn't catch that.
They did a Supergirl game. It was just the cast. Like, it was just Melissa Benoist, Kyler Lee, and Mikael Brooks, and what's the guy's name that plays Win? I don't ever remember his name for some reason.
I can't remember his name. Sorry, dude.
I'm sorry, dude. One of my favorite characters on the show.
And we're
can't remember.
Just that terrible.
Yep. Anyway, but they were doing the 3D video capture, and they were playing that game where they hold up a card on their forehead, and everyone tries to get you to guess what the card says.
Mm-hmm.
They're just playing that for about 2 minutes, roughly, and it was fun. But it was like it's a 3D 360 video. So every time you watch it, you can go and look at a different person and see what their reactions are. You can watch several different videos within that like 2 minutes, because you can literally just like interact with the video and scroll around the room and see all their surroundings and everyone and what they're doing.
That's just fantastic.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I'm starting to fall in love with those kinds of videos, mostly because the other day I had like a revolutionary moment in my life where I looked and somebody had posted something about NASA, and I looked and it was one of those. They did that.
Mm-hmm.
I looked on my phone and got a complete. I was on Mars.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real thing. Just check out what NASA's up to now. The new device they've got hanging out on there. I can't remember its name. Just has a full panoramic video of Mars. You just want to know what it'd be like to hang out on Mars. Just go check that out.
Isn't that badass? Oh my gosh.
I remember physically turning devices to change channels on a television.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
I mean, I remember a couple years ago, they were like, hey, we're doing this now on Conan. And like, while they're recording the show, you could actually just like log onto the app and you get like a 360 view of everything. You can just see cool. Conan. Yeah, like you're watching the studio audience like from like behind Conan. It's really cool.
And you're like, he's
anyway.
tall and orange from every angle. Interesting.
You know, the other day I actually I was talking to my girlfriend, and she was talking about the guy that she kept calling him Ralph Malph from Happy Days. She was talking about an episode of The Odd Couple where they were honoring Gary Marshall. Mm-hmm. Because he played Matthew Perry's Oscar's character's dad on the show, and but they had somehow gotten in like someone from like every Gary Marshall show into the episode, and she was saying that Ralph Malph showed up, and I was like, oh yeah, Donnie Most, and she's like, yeah, I couldn't remember. I was like, the only reason I even remember who Donnie Most is because early on when Conan started doing Late Night with Conan O'Brien, he would constantly make jokes that people would just like wake up in the middle of the night and, having fallen asleep during the Tonight Show, would wake up in the middle of the night and be like, why does Donnie Most have a talk show? Sorry, that was an aside that had nothing to do with anything. No, anyway, moving on.
Our love for Conan just dragged us. And
yeah,
the weird
I
Mars
love
thing.
Conan.
That's awesome. Sorry.
Yeah, great things.
Back to terrestrial television.
Yes. Supergirl Heroes vs. Aliens trailer. They did like a little crossover trailer. All it did was show Supergirl being introduced to the Legends and to Arrow and Team Arrow. And then it cuts to Felicity going, best team up ever! And that's all they showed, and it was enough to make me excited, but I wanted more.
Yep. You'll get more in like 3 weeks.
Better.
2 weeks?
So
2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks from when we're doing this right now.
I don't want to know. I want to be surprised.
You just want to watch. More power to you, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So there is a terrible rumor going around. It's a theory more than anything, really. It's not a rumor. They're not saying they've heard anything. But someone, the jackasses, pointed out that Joe might die in the crossover. And the reason that they're calling it the Glenn theory. Because in the comics, in the Invasion crossover, Robert West, or Rudy West, the father of Wally West in the comics, sacrifices himself. Like, he blows up a thing, he detonates a thing to kill the aliens and to save his son, but he doesn't make it out alive. They're saying they might actually do that with Joe.
All right. Don't get me wrong. That would be one of the best scenes I've actually witnessed in a while.
But would it be worth losing Joe?
But don't do that to me, man.
And, I thought about it, and I was like, damn it. I was like, no, they're not going to do that. And then I thought about it, and I was like, wait a minute.
No, that might...
They've made several points over the last few episodes. They've made several points over the last few episodes of showing different characters, doling out Joe wisdom, and they've been hanging a lantern on that.
Mm-hmm.
Then they've also introduced a possible love interest for him.
That's actually one of the reasons I would think they wouldn't pull that card on me, is they introduced his love interest.
No, I think they might, because they're fleshing him out a little bit, but also showing that everybody else has already got enough of Joe in them to carry on the heart of the show.
Yeah,
because Joe is
they're just going to wrap his big carrying arms around the show and then take him away.
Yeah,
that's a real thing that happens.
So I'm a little worried. Like, looking at the at the evidence, I'm a little like, oh man,
oh shit, that could happen.
Don't do this.
Don't. And yeah, it'll be good television, and I'm sure he will do a fantastic job. And I'll sob like a child has lost its balloon.
And look, man, they've got to make us cry. And we've already lost Nora. We've lost Henry. I mean, what else do we have?
It's really been rough going.
They've milked the cow on Nora, man. Like, we've seen her die like 4 times
and come back and die again, and just they can't do that. It's
gonna be rough, man.
Yeah, it might happen.
Yeah, so be prepared, guys. I'm already getting teary thinking about it.
I gotta say this though, in a way though, won't it be kind of weak a little bit, or is it going to be stronger? What do you think? If they do it like the Glenn, what do you call it? The Glenn theory?
The Glenn theory,
yeah.
Whatever his last name is, theory. I don't remember his last name.
If that's how it works out, are we going to do a 4-episode crossover where like some human on episode number 2 is the guy that saves the day? Like, because you just brought all these people. Have you seen the power shot on Legend of Tomorrow?
Probably.
It's a power shot. I mean, it's like the one we geeked out over last year. We're like, oh my god, both Hawks and everything else.
That sounds right. I don't remember it, but that sounds right.
We kind of felt like it. The first time you see it, your jaw drops. Oh my god. All of these people are in the same room. This is fantastic.
Right.
And sure enough, in the shot that I've seen, it's Oliver leading the crew. And come on. Who else here? Who is the most tactical person in this crew? Yeah. I don't care how many powers you have. Let Oliver tell you what to do with them.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny part, looking into it, I think that's Lance. If I remember, it's Lance standing to his left. Mm-hmm. So whatever we're going through with him, I think they're maybe still intact in a few weeks.
Yeah. You screwed up. We know he's not Prometheus. Bleh.
Take that, show. Anyway, great power shot though. And do you want, like, even if it's Joe, do you want just some human to be the guy who actually saves the day after all that, or do you want the triumphant, all the powers coming together scene?
Well, in the comic, he didn't save the day necessarily. He just saved a couple of hours. You know what I mean? Like, he
bought some time.
He didn't he bought time. Yeah, and sacrificed himself so they could get to another point.
Yeah.
So anyway, moving on a little bit here. Entertainment Weekly talked to Greg Berlanti. There was a question asked from listeners, is what they were doing, and on when we'll see Savitar, and he says, you'll see the God of Motion much sooner than the mid-season finale. People will have seen him before the crossovers, Berlanti reveals. He appears in episodes 6 and 7. But if a scoop on the mid-season finale is what you're after, you'll find out who Alchemy is.
That's awesome.
So same article on Entertainment Weekly. They someone named Kylie asks Mark Guggenheim, could you provide any info on the 100th episode of Arrow? He says the 100th episode is truly a love letter to the fans. It feels like the 100th issue of a comic book. Perhaps even more so.
Like filmed yours.
Perhaps even more so than the 100th episode of a television show. And the EW guy, whoever's in charge over there, whoever's doing the interview, says, just a note, Glenn died in the 100th issue of The Walking Dead. So that comment has me a little worried. Guggenheim says, you know me, I always want everyone worried. So.
Yep. The Googs has given and he has taken.
The Googs, she do take a bite, don't she?
She do take a bite. I still haven't forgiven him for the Green Lantern shit.
I know you haven't, buddy. You know, someone was pointing out that like the little box, the little ring box or whatever that Damien Dark was trying to get a hold of in Legends of Tomorrow was probably Alan Scott's ring. So I don't know. Alan Scott Green Lantern was supernaturally based. That's all I'm saying. That it makes sense.
Yeah, but he needed the lantern primarily, I thought.
I mean, the ring was supernatural. Yeah, he did have that lantern, didn't he?
I thought the lantern with him was more primary than the ring itself.
That might be a case against it. I forgot about that. Of course, you know, Alan Scott changed the source of his powers a couple of times, I think, too.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, I don't think Oa had any issues against wood. But, you know, I don't know.
Substance makes things. We build things so we can hobby for something.
Here's the thing. We're talking about the Golden Age, guys. I can't remember everything. I'm sorry.
God, no.
I'm so sorry. I'm not Jeff Johns. You know what?
Seriously,
if he's being honest with himself, he probably forgot some shit, too.
Like, if we could, we'd be employed by these people. Honestly.
So, Stephen Amell was disappointed in Arrow Season 4, they're saying. Oh, Stephen Amell said.
The headline said, finally admitting.
Yeah, right. He says, there's a lull in any relationship where you come to Jesus moment, and that happened to me in Season 4. We are a street-level crime-fighting show. We're at our best when we're focused on those things. He says, we're either going to do what we do and do it well, or it's the last year. If we find the magic formula, which is not magic, it's just hard work and playing to your strengths, then the show could go on for a really long time. I do really believe that this season is sort of a throw down the gauntlet year for us, where we're either going to do what we do and do it well, or it's the last year. Now, he doesn't have any say over whether it's the last year, really. I mean, I guess he could leave the show.
Well, it'd probably cost him a shit ton of money.
It probably would. But anyway, speaking of Stephen Amell being kind of a badass, though, he got headbutted by some Nutbar fan.
Awesome.
He actually posted a picture. He had like a cut on his nose and looked like it was about to blossom into a black eye. He says, dude came up to me yesterday, headbutts me hard, out of nowhere, then says, I want to fight the Green Arrow. I paused, looked at him, shook his hand, and said, no thank you, because I'm a father and a husband. Pretty manly, if you ask me. That's what he said.
Oh, man. That's a pretty great response, honestly.
Right?
Gotta stand behind him. So was the guy's rebuttal a rebuttal?
Yeah, apparently that was fine. Like he shook the guy's hand, was like, oh, okay. A rebuttal for his headbuttal.
Yeah.
And if I played a superhero on a TV show and I was that jacked, and knew choreography and shit, and some random fan ran up to me and like headbutted me and said he wanted to fight me, before he was finished with the sentence, his jugular would have been opened.
Oh, if only.
Precisely because if I was like Stephen Amell and I was a husband and a father, I'd be like, no. This is clearly self-defense. You came up and headbutted me, dude, out of nowhere. I have every right to slash your jugular open. Probably not every right.
And that would have pretty much done it for the show.
Yeah, it would have been bad.
Well, yeah. I mean...
Never employ me, is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah. We've made that point very clear, though. That's not...
yeah.
If it happens, it's not on us.
Yeah. I don't know if it would have been instinct or not, though. Like, I think it would have just been, like, whatever I did, it would probably be on instinct. I can't imagine just trying to put my hand out there like, please shake my hand and don't crush it. Don't shove a knife through it, please. Jeez. Oh, my gosh. Anyway.
Trying to actually envision that now. Oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do any of that.
Yeah, like, ugh.
Everyone be nice. Damn it.
Josh Segarra revealed what is exciting to him about playing Vigilante. He says, when I watch something that's based off of literature, I'm excited to see the parts that I imagined in my head. So when I started reading Vigilante comics, there were little parts where I was like, oh, I hope I get to do this. I hope I get to go down this road. And so far, I'm getting to do a lot of those things. He says, the biggest question that I have for myself as an actor is, why does this person become the person they are? So what's going to be hard is that in the middle of the season, I get to introduce Vigilante. So now I'm getting to tell that backstory, and we get to tell the biggest pieces and get to show him becoming who he is before episode 7. I hope he's in more than episode 7.
Oh, God, yeah.
As Vigilante.
They've set him up to be a substantial part of this series, so surely they're not just going to cut him out.
And the pictures of him look phenomenal. He looks great.
Yeah,
he really does.
He really does. And there's even like this with the mask. It kind of alludes to like that ski goggle kind of thing he had going on.
But it doesn't look so lame.
Right. It has kind of the shape-ish, but it's not stupid.
Anyway, Legends of Tomorrow got 4 more episodes for season 2.
Oh, all right.
So that it goes from 13 to 17 episodes. That's exciting. Like I said on the DCEU podcast that we just did, Justice League Action, they released 3 new clips. I thought they were amazing.
Oh, they were pretty great. There was like something to love in each one of the clips there. Like the Joker was just funny, just straight up funny. By the way, the page I saw, the clips were not linked to the right actual footage, so don't be confused if there's some mismatch there. In 2 of them though, it was just Batman that really got to me. Where one of them, it's just Batman saying, "I don't like this." I think it was.
Yeah, that was in the Toyman.
Yeah.
Let's play a game.
That's about right. And the other one though is there's this nice shot of like this ridiculous, absolutely stupid Kronos.
He sounded like he was voiced by Mark Hamill too.
It really might have been. And it was just an over the top stupid version of this guy. And like there's nothing to take seriously about this character, but he does. He like in the course of the episode, he's got this little snippet. He's got this power to like see a second in the future. So Batman throws down fog, and what does he say? Like what's wrong, Kronos, or what's the problem, Kronos, or something?
I
forget the exact line, but like after he throws down the smoke and smokes the room, he has some line similar to that, and he does it in this absolutely perfect Kevin Conroy fucking god damn it, that's my bat kind of voice. I was thrilled.
Like he really is. He's just playing the character like he always has, pretty much.
Yeah, he's like a little bit of here and there that's a little different, but it's just pretty much Kevin Conroy doing the thing you've loved him doing for so long. Same with the Joker. He's just having some fun with it, but it's pretty much what you thought it was going to be.
Dude, he electrocuted Mongol.
Yes.
And looked positively devilish while doing it. But then like that, like when Mongol's fine, he's like just that look he gives, man. Like this is, oh my gosh, it was great.
Anyone want autographs? I'll be in my dressing room.
And I love that Superman like was there to save him outside of the airlock that Mongol was throwing him out of, but he caught him by the face.
Yeah, like all you see is the back of his head with like all the hair sprawled through it. But still, before that, the part that made me laugh was, "Please be enemies."
Please be enemies.
Please be enemies. That was perfect.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Even the Blue Beetle, you will remember my name. You know.
Yep.
Good stuff. This is gonna be one of those shows that it's gonna be a little childish. Seriously, it's gonna be a little childish.
Yeah, and like I was saying, like I've seen a lot of people already bitching about that. People like lots of those little angry faces, little angry emojis on Facebook.
I'm sorry though, Brave and the Bold's over. That like the middle ground where it was a little childish but still kind of really impressively adult sometimes. I think that's come and gone. We're not. That's not happening again.
I don't think so. I don't really think so. Like looking at this, that's what it feels like. That's what
it might get there sometimes. But
to me, this feels like they crossed Justice League Unlimited with Brave and the Bold. That's what it feels like, with a little bit of Teen Titan Go in it.
It's the little bit of Teen Titan Go though in it that it makes you kind of all right when you hear Kronos say, "I'll get you yet," you know. Come on, that's not.
Yeah.
Even in Brave and the Bold, we would have rolled our eyes.
Even in Brave and the Bold, but at the same time, I mean, you look back at Batman the Animated Series, you have the wonderful Condiment King.
Oh,
and everyone, yeah. And just Batman, just like what the hell is this? You know, like just like the way Conroy reacts to all of this is amazing.
Like that, but BTAS always took itself seriously, and this episode, or this show is not going to take itself seriously, and that's for the better, probably for this show. BTAS
did not always take itself seriously. They knew where to throw those non-serious beats. This is an expansion on that idea, like the comedy and the action. I'm down with it. It looks it looks like a lot of fun, especially with Batman being played pretty much the exact same way that he was in BTAS, because Conroy's straight man really does just make this shit shine.
Yeah, you can juice up any scene with that. But the show itself, like, treated itself like a show. It didn't treat itself like a. All right, this this action thing feels like it's going to treat itself like a series of vignettes that are supposed to be a little interesting, maybe a little serious sometimes, but kind of ultimately just amusing.
Right.
And I would never have described an episode of BTAS as like I just did that. There's no way. Animated series took itself seriously in the sense that it wanted to be a show, and it achieved that.
Mm-hmm. But again, they've done that.
And
they've done that. They've done Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
They've done Beware the Batman. They've done The Batman. They've done all these different takes on these characters. That's what it is. That's what keeps the character fresh and interesting, and all these characters fresh and interesting. And this just seems like a huge family-friendly orgy of DC Comics, because this is like everything you could. This feels like everything you could like.
See like some 200 characters. Like,
yeah, like it's. Guys, this is Brave and the Bold. This is like, you can sit down and watch this with your kids, your little kids.
Absolutely. Still
enjoy the hell out of it. And, hey, we have all this stuff. We have all these adult-oriented, gritty DC Comics things to watch. Quit whining that one show is not that gritty. Everyone's bitching that the movies aren't, they're not bright and hopeful and funny enough. And then, like, everybody's mad because this is too lighthearted. Oh, give me a break, guys. Suck it up. This is going to be amazing, and I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it. And if they put it out on Blu-ray, I'm going to buy it. I can already tell. I already know.
As a group, we're all moving together, and there's always going to be outliers. So, as a group, there are a lot of us that feel generally about things. Like, yeah, we love this aspect of this. We hate this aspect of this. Then there are going to be the people they're just outliers where it's never gritty enough, and there are going to be the other people that think it's never lighthearted enough. Mm-hmm. Depending on who you are, if it's never lighthearted enough, I think you got your show, buddy.
And bless their soul, there's always those people who just don't understand why Batman and Superman would fight, because they want the super friends, and I just don't understand you. But
I mean,
Super Friends was fun.
We're the kind of people who read Dark Knight Returns, and it was a fucking revelation in your life.
Yeah, I love the idea of Batman fighting Superman. I also love the fact that Batman and Superman are like best friends.
Right.
Like,
there are ways to explore both aspects of that relationship that are fantastic. Hell, the Injustice comics even did a good job with it.
Oh yeah, and Public Enemies.
Yes.
Jeff Loeb, Ed McGuinness, and even in the movie, like when that Batman Superman robot the Toyman makes blows up, Superman goes, "You just killed my best friend," and like I just tears, like, right. Oh my god, they did.
What does he say in that we always joke about? What the hell's a good villain?
Yeah, like Superman goes, "Whatever happened to Magpie?" And he's like, "She died." And Clark says, "Why can't any of the good villains die?" And Batman goes, "Clark, what the hell is a good villain?"
As he's like nursing a Clark back to through the sewers.
Well, both of them, but they're both injured as shit, and they're both like leaning on each other to hobble back to like this little Batcave entrance where Alfred's going to be waiting with a shotgun.
Because of course.
Raoul, bless him. Anyway. Justice League Action. They've said it's going to start coming out November 26th in the UK. They haven't said where it's coming out or when it's coming out in the US yet, or Australia. No. We don't know yet for USA or Australia. So I don't know, but January 28th for the Netherlands and Northern Belgium. How screwed up is it that all these people get it in USA and Australia are like, we don't know about you guys. Like, you guys kind of suck, so we're just not going to give you Justice League Action for a while. We've been tracking where all those angry faces on Facebook are coming from. It's all the US and Australia. Like, all of you guys are pissed off. Yeah. Anyway,
no idea. I'm not up on the international strategies enough to.
Yeah, these episodes are 25 minutes long, and they are made up of 2 11-minute animated shorts. Who knows? They might actually do a thing like Batman Beyond Return. I'm sorry, Batman Beyond Return. Wait, what? Batman Beyond the Brave and the Bold that would be a really cool idea. Like, I kind of want to see that now. Damn it. I want to see Brave and the Bold set in the future with Terry McGinnis.
Yes.
A different version.
Or Batman Beyond
Anyway.
Returns. Just give me more Terry McGinnis. Which
Right.
I think was like Future's End when they did it in the comics.
But not Batman Beyond Returns with a future penguin and a pack of penguins.
Right.
I don't want to see
Being raised
that.
by penguins. Or Batman Returns Beyond, where we get Terry McGinnis as though he is born out of the Keaton films.
Yeah. Or Batman Returns Beyond, which is Batman grows old and takes on Deadman as a protege.
There you go. That's the spirit.
All right? Literally the spirit.
Doom Patrol Returns.
Not the Will Eisner spirit.
Where
Let's
are we going
stop.
with that? All right. Okay. Yeah. Let's just stop. You're right. Stopping's the call.
So
That's why you host things, Dave.
Like I was saying though, they might be like Brave and the Bold, and Brave and the Bold started out doing pretty much little vignettes like at the beginning of the shows, and then like a kind of a fullish episode, and then like wound up putting in like full like storylines in those little like teasers. They might actually do that. First thing is like an ongoing story, and then like the second little 11-minute clip is just like backup story.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway. I don't know.
I really loved how Brave and the Bold did that, though. They've like seeded in the Starro story by giving you these little glimpses, and it like you'd see it and think, "What the fuck is that?" And then it was just this entertaining little episode, and you didn't care. It all made sense by itself, so who the hell cares? And then it all paid off in this badass story.
Wasn't it like a 2-part episode where like people actually died and shit?
Yes, like real shit happened.
Right.
It was good. It was just actually good. That show's worth it, people. We've gone over that before. But that show's worth it.
And I'll say this, and it's a spoiler. I'm sorry. I don't care. I never in my life, ever, if you had ever told me, dude, you were going to shed a tear over Buona Beast.
And then you did.
I would have never thought that was possible. And yet here we are. No drugs were involved in that.
Nope. Well, same thing. If I told you, like, man, you're gonna see a thing about Doom Patrol one day, and you're gonna actually cry a little bit. And then it happened.
Well, seriously, man, I'm sitting there. Me and Jason, we were living together at the time. I had an apple crisp from Arby's and a Diet Coke. I was shedding a tear for Buona Beast.
Yep.
Brave and the Bold, guys. I'm just saying, just go and watch that show. Don't be angry because of Smiley Batman, because he will make you teary.
He
Batman
will
fan.
eventually.
Anyway,
Was it Dark of the Night? The episode with his parents and Spectre and Phantom Stranger show up.
Chill of Night.
Chill the Night.
Maybe?
Oh, perfect. Yeah, Chill the Night. That was it.
Ugh.
That one's rough.
Guys, Paul Dini written. We're talking about Mark Hamill doing the Spectre, Kevin Conroy doing the Phantom Stranger, having a bet over whether or not Batman's gonna kill the dude that killed his parents when he finds out who it is.
Right.
Ooh, I mean, you don't you dare tell me that this is just kid fodder.
That is, yeah.
Like, oh yeah, same episode. Thomas Wayne, Adam West. Martha Wayne, Julie Newmar. Don't even tell me that shit. Just do it. Anyway, that's all the news I have, actually. So we picked a good time to Batwiener it up.
We did.
So
I got nothing. Here's what I know about television this week. The week that's currently airing, we've got 6. All 6 of the shows we cover. Next week, I think Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow are taking the week off. And then week after, Lucifer and Gotham are just kind of like plowing through right now.
Yeah,
they're just.
I think they're going to do like 11 episodes before the break.
Yeah, they're just going strong. But there's
they are from Aspect
4 shows week following this one, and after that it's all 6, baby, and you got Invasion Part 1, 2, 3, and 4 coming up.
There you have it, guys. I'm going to need him to repeat all of that to me in private, so I can have a piece of paper at hand.
And
I'm not
actually
gonna
get that down. Yeah.
I'm not going to remember that my damn self, but
my DVR remembers things for me.
Ooh, DVR brain thing.
Had to finally make that sacrifice.
Did you got a new DVR?
Oh yeah, no, this is the 3rd one.
Ugh.
On the list of things that failed me last 12 days now, I guess, and counting. It's the 3rd one. It's DVR 3 times, Remote to the DVR twice. Monitor/television I use once, and we're still counting with that little bastard. What else? Computer completely died. Backup laptop, not adequate. Tried to record the show on the wife's MacBook Pro. She has the one out of, I think, 4 versions that won't do audio in. My backup little tablet I had the highest hopes for, but he's a little bastard. Car battery died. I don't even know where to stop with this list.
Wow, man.
There's stuff I'm like forgetting. Yeah.
Did you mention your phone being wonky?
Oh, the phone being wonky. Apparently, the phone at this point has decided anywhere between 7 and 25% is the bottom of its battery. And yes, my favorite part, the soundboard that I used to actually record this goddamn show, just completely bailing on me.
Can we refrain from saying things about God damning our show?
In this absolute instance, no. But in the future, sure. And here's the backstory to why we had some really short episodes a couple weeks ago. We recorded the normal length of show. I mean, when we do these all at once, we do them on Saturday afternoon. It's like the first time in the week we can both get together and get all the shows done. And we recorded a normal length episode, which for us is anywhere between about... We split them up in post, so we talk about them all at once, and it's like an hour and a half to 2.5 hours worth of audio. Well, it recorded everything, and then it died. So Dave and I just had to find some time on Sunday, and I cobbled together the list of devices I possibly could, and just tried to make it work. I mean, that's why we had inadequate equipment, and on my side, I couldn't trust. I literally had just a few hours because I work over the weekends too, so I had a few hours to pull together whatever equipment I could, and we couldn't trust that equipment more than a few minutes. So that's why you had shortened episodes a couple weeks ago, because there was a certain amount of minutes that we were happy to trust that this thing would record it, and then we had to stop, restart, start everything again, let the damn thing cool down even, and then come back. It was...
And you have shortened episodes this week because nothing freaking happened on the shows this week.
That's not our fault. But even then, I'm still I've got equipment coming in. It's ridiculous, and I still feel like I'm forgetting what the hell broke. There's probably something. It's just everywhere I turn, something broke on me. It's been rough, man. It's been rough.
Yeah. So anyway, I think I'm going to call this show.
Yes, before it breaks on us.
Stop saying stuff like that, man.
I really did. This is my fault. This is my fault. I promise. Before we started recording last Saturday, before we started doing the actual TV episodes, I was joking with Dave that all this stuff had broken already. I had the battery and a couple of I had just a little bit of a hint of what was coming, I guess. And then it was basically the battery in the computer. And I'm talking 15 years worth of data on my computer had broken on me. And I was downtrodden. And I was joking and said, well, I mean, if it could break, it's already broken. So what the hell do I care? Oh my God. Do not fuck with Murphy and his law, man. Just don't do that.
Or Murphy and his law.
Murphy's probably fine too. That's probably,
yeah, Murphy's an asshole.
Probably a good law. I don't know what his would be. If you go skinny dipping in too murky of water, it's not worth it.
Right.
That's probably Murky's law.
And of course, his sallow cousin, Lurky.
Yeah.
We don't want to deal with him.
If Lurky's near Murky, not worth it for anybody, really, just frankly.
Right. It's dangerous is what it is. They could all get a bit quirky.
Quirky, who sits quietly aside, not paying attention to anything, and not being affected by either Lurky, and Murphy's Law.
Just thinking about it, my muscles get a little jerky.
Jerky, who's affected by all of these things, but only in a biosynthetic feedback sort of way. This has run off the rails. Hit it up, man. Anyway, I had a really bad week with electronics. I'm still kind of pissed.
I checked. It was not Mercury in retrograde. Guys, thank you so much for listening to whatever the hell this was.
I think there was television.
We are DC On Screen. Yeah. You can catch up on every episode of DC On Screen at dconscreen.com. You can find every episode there. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Stitcher and Google Play. We are proud members of the Giant Size Team Up Network, giantsizeteamup.com. Be sure to go over to iTunes, give us those 5-star written reviews to be entered into that contest. So you have a 1 in 10 chance of winning free trade paperback or a DVD or a Blu-ray. So go do it. Say nice things about us. Make us feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Or don't, I guess.
You could theoretically leave us 5 stars and hate on us, and it still technically qualifies.
I'll still read it because I'm a whore.
I mean, we've assigned this mission, and if it comes back and it's terrible and it's 5 stars, we got to do what we do.
Yeah. Anyway, until next time, which is going to be a Gotham review, probably.
No,
unless you don't listen to those.
We've got a Suicide Squad interlude.
Oh yeah, we do. We have the Suicide Squad extended cut that we're recording on Wednesday night. So, gosh, yeah, guys, you guys are gonna have a little extra of us. You already get so much, and keep getting those dead rats in the mail because of it. Mm-hmm. Anyway,
I found a used condom the other day. I don't know what to do with it.
It was full of blood. It was so weird.
Also, what do I name this?
Spelled out DC on screen. It was weird. Yeah. Anyway,
I promise none of that's true. It's Jared Leto's fault. All of that. All of that.
Yeah.
But Will Smith was great.
Until next time, guys, keep some DC on your screen.